You're listening to Battle of the Epics, Episode 6, Desperate Measures. The Nubian was perched on a cliffside outside a secluded cabin on the outskirts of Cult Classic Village. Inside the cabin, Scott Pilgrim, Avatar, Return of the Jedi, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith were gathered at a round table. Across from them stood Jurassic Park, Titanic, and The Force Awakens. Jurassic Park, a 7-foot-tall T-Rex wearing a fedora, Ray-Ban shades, and a leather jacket, was the first to speak. You sure took your sweet time, but I'm glad you made it. This is when I find out what I'm doing here, right? Like, before I die of boredom? Return of the Jedi interjected. Before my brother went into hiding, he left a map to his whereabouts, hidden inside the highest point of Battle Mountain, should he ever be needed again. Trolls spawning all over the place? Yeah, I could see why OG Star Wars would come in handy. Still doesn't explain why I'm here. Titanic, who appeared as a 7-foot-tall Jack Dawson made of ice, grew impatient. The map can only be revealed by the highest blockbuster and an utter flop. Ouch. Avatar raised his voice. Enough talk. Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Jurassic Park agreed to stay behind in the cabin in case any other lost cinematics arrived. The trek to Battle Mountain could be met in a day and a half. Titanic and Return of the Jedi led the way, while The Phantom Menace, The Force Awakens, Avatar, and Scott Pilgrim took up the rear. They walked from sunrise to sundown, then set up camp around a bonfire as soon as darkness hit. Every cinematic was huddled around the fire, except for Avatar, who went under the nearest tree to meditate. Scott Pilgrim turned to The Force Awakens. What's his deal? Avatar's a good guy. It's just, for whatever reason, the internet bridges sapped a lot of his quality. He has to meditate just to get a third of it back. That's harsh. The internet has that effect on a lot of cinematics. Even me, but I'm hopeful we'll pull through this. Well, yeah, you're a Star Wars. Hope's in your DNA. What's your deal, Scott? Not much. I'm an Edgar Wright. I share an apartment with 2 others, and I kinda hate them. No, I really hate them. I think I met your younger brothers. World's End and Baby Driver, right? World's End was able to con a rival into marrying him, but spoiler alert, it's not going well. Their divorce is coming soon to a court near you. Baby Driver was the only one that made some money. I'm proud of that SOB. He has a legit apartment in downtown BK. I tried to move in, but status sucks. I never understood that. I think movies should be judged by their content. You're a lot less snobby than most blockbusters. I am a Star Wars. Titanic had had enough. The rest of us have called it a night. I suggest you two do the same, or at least stop yammering. Titanic blew out the fire with his icy breath. By dawn the next day, they had reached Battle Mountain. Winding stone steps ascended to its flat peak. Before proceeding any further, Return of the Jedi held the others back while summoning the Phantom Menace to move forward. You're up, Phantom. Yippee! The Phantom Menace raised the hilt of his lightsaber, extending the double blades as they jutted out from red to blue to green, leaping into a force run up the stone steps that triggered massive buzzsaws that he sliced through with ease. Return of the Jedi commanded the others. Hurry, everyone. Awakens, stay on guard. Scott stepped on a landmine, triggering a laser blast from a hidden cannon. The Force Awakens stopped the laser fire mid-air as it was close to Scott's face. With a flick of his wrist, he shot the fire back at the cannon itself, causing a chain reaction of explosions. Scott breathed a sigh of relief The two nodded, smiling at each other. The group followed the trail of destroyed buzzsaws up the mountain. The Phantom Menace greeted them halfway up, standing in front of a wall of red fire. Titanic moved forward, parting the flames with each stride as they turned to ice in his wake. The others followed, reaching the top of the mountain, where a giant stone carving of a lion's head opened his mouth. Bring me a warrior of the stars. The Phantom Menace stepped forward. Episode 1, boyo. With a low rumble, a descending staircase formed inside the lion's mouth. The cinematics ran down the steps as fast as they could, while a glowing emerald light grew brighter and brighter as they reached the bottom. The light came from an ivory totem pole in the center of the cave. Return of the Jedi directed Avatar and Scott. Your turn, you two. To do what? Avatar glided past Scott. You take the left, I'll take the right. Scott did as she was told. Avatar turned on his amplifier. The bright blue beam hit the totem. Scott followed his lead, turning on her soundtrack. The totem lit up in golden hieroglyphics, furiously spinning into a portal of light. Return of the Jedi was in awe. It's not just a map, it's a gateway. Titanic raised his voice. Awakens now! The Force Awakens took out his crossguard lightsaber, striking Return of the Jedi through the chest. No! The Phantom Menace leapt at the Force Awakens, their sabers clashing in a violent hum. Why? My brother, the last Jedi, he has a plan. This is the first step in making cinematics equal and ending things with the trolls. Avatar was enraged. Titanic, I loathe being a Cameron. You're all either mindless action or sci-fi fluff. During our reign, I will replace all of you. Abby, Scotty, go through the portal now and leave you here. Misa stronger than you think. Now go! Avatar grabbed Scott, then leapt into the portal of light. Before Titanic could reach it, the portal had turned back into a totem. He sneered, looking down upon the Force Awakens. You're on your own. Generating Arctic blasts from the palms of his hands, Titanic jetted upward, blasting through Battle Mountain, leaving behind the sounds of clashing lightsabers.
This is the modern man, modern plan, future transition. Worship the work in the product, American joy division.
We've reached the end to this episode of Battle of the Epics. But stay tuned as the adventure continues. Intro and outro music is the song Eagle vs. Crows from Rise Records artist Dance Gavin Dance off their album Instant Gratification, available on all streaming platforms. Feel free to drop a line at TheJuniverse82, at Twitter handle Drew Manning, or Instagram handle Manning Drew. And as always, here's Saban!